the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the incredible support of my patrons and channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers movie masterpiece, MPM-11, of none other than Autobot Ratchet. For the package, very similar to a lot of the movie masterpiece ones that we've gotten before. You got that black background, you got a nice image of the vehicle as well as the robot mode. Of course, it says Transformers. He is from the Transformers film. He was around for a little bit until he left us in a very sad way. Come around to the side, you got a really nice image of him in his Hummer rescue vehicle mode. The other side here has an up-close image of his face in a screaming pose because maybe he knows what the future holds. You come around to the back of the package, you can see that he is an officially licensed product by GM. You can scan that and get proof that he's officially licensed. Okay. As I said, he does have a movable mouth. Comes with his buzzsaw accessory, arm missiles. He's got articulated hands, as well as his laser cannon. And all of that can be plugged onto him in a very inconspicuous sort of way. Just hanging off them, I guess. And then, of course, you got images, again, of him in his robot and vehicle mode. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. Like I said, very similar to a lot of the other movie masterpiece figures that we've seen. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright, and here we have the new masterpiece movie Ratchet opened up out of its packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And I dig it. I've always really liked this design. Instantly, people complained because he wasn't a white ambulance. But for me, this works. He's got that really bright neon yellowish green color. All the different warning things like the lifeline thing along the side, search and rescue, fire department. Got the little caution thing right there. The little logo right there does have an Autobot logo in there, which is nice. All these extra little siren sections up here that have just some red paint, but some nice silver outline and everything. I do like how they got the different weapons. Well, not weapons. I shouldn't say weapons, but they're tools that a search and rescue vehicle would have. Like you got a shovel right here. The other side here has like a giant wrench or something. So I like that. I mean, they're attached, they're soft rubber, and you can't really remove them or anything, but I like that they have those on there. That's really cool. You got all the different guard sections up here. I like how the little lights on the top section here have a nice slight bluish tint to the clear plastic. You got that down here with the headlights and such. Nice silver detail in the grill area. Obviously, you do have the red translucent light bar there. You got a lot of junk right in here. I kind of wish that these windows were a little bit more deep in color. As you can see, it's kind of a pale blue, much like these bits, but you see a lot of robot junk up in there. That's a little unfortunate. He does have weapon storage. You can see that his blaster plugs in up here. You got the spare tire that attaches to, which, you know, we'll take a look at that here in a bit. You also do have the missiles that store underneath here. Now, this is a nice weird place to store them. You don't really see them. They just kind of hide underneath there where you don't really notice them all that much. But they just tab in on the inside here of the wheel bit. So I'm just going to remove those, set that off to the side. And then you have his saw weapon, which just clips in right on here. So you do have that. Getting that off, but then you look at the back here, and I like what they did here with the back detail. You got a window section painted in, but again, I like how that's a black paint. It doesn't really look like anything. I wish that they did a darker paint or color for those windows. That would make it look a lot better. But then you got the fire department, search and rescue, all that stuff on there as well. You got the warning strip. You do have some robot stuff here hanging on the bottom. It's not terribly bad. I mean, when you're looking at it like that, you don't really notice it all that much. I like how this also does kind of swoop up here as opposed to just kind of like sticking out. I mean, that's really nice. It's a little bit more streamlined, but you can see it definitely does hang down. I mean, it doesn't affect the rolling. He rolls perfectly fine still. And then you got these bits right here, which are going to become his arms. You got those kind of hanging out there. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, yes, that's noticeable. And you flip around here, obviously, there's Ratchet's head and stuff, and you can kind of see everything that's going on. But it's not egregious, I don't think. It doesn't stand out and make me hate the figure or anything. It's no more worse than the giant undercarriage that Starscream had, for example. So I'm okay with that. But vehicle mode wise, he does look nice. You can see though there is a slight paint difference here. You got some nice yellow paint here. And then this section is molded yellow. That goes across the entire top section here, whereas like most of this here is a yellow paint. Oh no, I'm like there's some molded pieces here and everything. So you can see there is a slight paint difference, but I don't think it stands out overly bad. I still don't understand why they're not able to, you know, color match a little bit better. But in general, I really like the way that the guy looks. Like I said, I always like the design of him. I think it's a cool look, especially his robot mode, which we'll get to here in a minute. It has a very nice angular look because I don't really keep my movie masterpiece figures anymore. I can't really compare him to any of the other previous ones, so I do apologize for that. But hey, I got my tape measure, so you can see that from here to here, he's a little over 7 inches, maybe 7 1/4-ish, or 1/8, maybe, of sorts. So a little over 7 inches. This point here, what do you got? He's about 3.5 inches or so tall, so you get an idea of how big the guy is. And one thing that I noticed when I took him out of the package is there's a good weight to him. I mean, he's obviously smaller than, say, Starscream, but has a good weight to him. There is obviously die cast in here. I'll point that out here in a bit. But that was a good kind of thing. When I got him out of the package, I'm like, oh, he's got a good weight to him. I dig that. Overall, I'm impressed. I do like the way that he looks. I could totally see them repainting him into mostly like a white in this one to give us a Dark of the Moon looking one. So there you have him. Now, transformation isn't terrible, but there's a lot of stuff that really needs to kind of move around and get out of the way. Going to the robot mode is considerably easier than going back. You'll see that in a bit. So hopefully I'm able to help you guys out a little bit and do the best I can. First, what you're going to want to do is come around here to this side, pull this and separate this out on both sides right here. Just pull this piece out and away from the body like so. And I like taking these and loosening these up and pulling those out from the body. You may detach this. If you do, it's no big deal. It's going to get detached eventually anyhow, so no biggie. But just pull this out and so you can get that kind of pulled away from the body. And then separate that like that. And then bring these down a little bit. You're going to have to rotate some stuff, so you're going to want to make sure that there's enough space. And again, all of that is something that you're going to have to deal with later on. So kind of loosen all that up like that. Then come around here to the back section. This entire back bumper bit tabs in, so just kind of wiggle this and then lift that up. These little pieces here you can lift up and get out of the way for right now, and then just basically flip that forward. You can come down here to the legs, and these, if you loosen this, you can then pull these legs out and straighten them out like so. Come around here to the opposite side, take these little pieces, this is going to lift up and then out, and then fold this over and cover up the tire. I love that little touch. I think that's a really nice little attention to detail. They didn't need to put it in there, but it just adds an extra level of realism, which I think is great. With these knees now, you got this little section right here, that's a tab, that's gonna lock in here. So make sure that you give that a push and locks in very nicely. Do that on this side as well. Just kind of shift that up and lock it down. You can come around here to the feet, straighten those out like so. Take this, fold this down, and then in. Now, it's extended out. You're going to have to collapse it in, but first come around here to the back, and when you collapse it in, push it, and then bring this whole thing up. Then take this piece, well, I'll do that before. Take this and bend that down, and then you can collapse that in nicely. So again, take that, collapse that down, collapse the entire side portion in, fold this down. Oh, no, keep that in, and then bring that there. Then you can take these legs and then rotate them at the knees on both sides. And then if you want to, at this point in time, take this, get this out of the way, get that out of the way, and then you can rotate him here at the waist. Then you have his legs. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. You have to take these little heel spurs out, fold that out and around, and now you have his really very accurate looking robot legs done. I love the way that those turned out. These little bits here, just gonna flip down, get them out of the way. These arms, you're going to swivel these out to the side. Now this is where I was talking about you're gonna have some rotation to do. So This middle section is what rotates. This piece is probably going to get in the way. The number of times this piece will pop off will probably set records. So I'm just going to lift that up, try to get that out of the way. And see, it's getting caught on some junk underneath here. So let me see. There we go. All right, well, that worked a whole lot easier. So I rotated it the opposite way, and it worked. All right, now we're going to bring that down. You can basically see everything coming together right now. Let's come around here to the back section here. You got this whole spine piece. You got to give the middle one here a good push, locking that into place. And then you're going to fold this all down and everything. So let's get that lined up. Well, let's bring this in, I should say. Bring this up. This piece right here, you're going to rotate, and then we're going to line that up. Now you got this little tab here that's going to hook on the underside of this. That can be a little bit tricky to do, but there we go. Get that squeezed in there very nicely. Again, these little pieces are just kind of flopping and getting in the way. But let's see, I did that a little bit wrong. So now you have this. You want to rotate this so that the top piece is like so. And then this is going to come around here and lock in. It's really hard to see, but on the inside of this spine is a little groove section that this is going to rest into. So get that rotated around and then bring that around, and that tucks underneath there. And like I said, just kind of rests in that groove area on his spine. That doesn't tab in, but it does sit there very nicely, which is cool. I really appreciate that. You can rotate his head around if you want right now. And then come around here to the back section. Let's get these arms out of the way. Let's this kind of shift it out. Keep that inside there. Okay. So get these arms. You're going to rotate all this around. Why do I not feel? Yeah, that's not in there all the way. So there we go. Get that in there. Now straighten out these arms. Rotate that around. Straighten these out. You can flare these out if you want to. They're on little swivel sections, so you can play with that how you want. Get that out of the way. Now we're going to take this back section. Let's put this back. Again, like that thing likes popping off. I'm glad that it does because it doesn't break it or anything, but it is definitely annoying. Fold these back. You got a little piece right here. You're going to push this up, and then this section here is going to lock into place, and then this comes up, and you got that little hook piece now that's going to grab hold of that little post. So that bring that up, kind of hinge that down, and then slot that in there. Give that a good push and knock that piece off. Yeah, it's definitely annoying. Get these back, and this piece is gonna sit here. There we go. Just kind of play with that. Did that move into a different spot? It might have. I'll worry about that here in a bit. Then you can bring this whole section down. This is going to tab in, locks into place very nicely. And then you got a little hook and tab piece right underneath here. This comes around here and then slots up and locks into place. One extra little bit of attention to detail is that in the vehicle mode, that's angled down. You can then push that and angle that up, which I think is wonderful. This whole thing here, you're going to rotate these down and in. They literally just sit in this space, just like so. These, you can angle these around up like that. This is going to come down. This rotates out, and then this whole section, get that lifted up. This is on a hinge. You're going to rotate that back like that, and rotate these around. Sit that there. Do that on this side as well. So lift that, rotate that, fold that whole thing back and down. Sit that there. And let's see. This, I still have to put this back in. So that's going to go right in that little piece. And like I said, it's kind of a giant pain in the butt, honestly. And I honestly, I don't even feel like I'm putting it in the right way most of the time. So Let's see, get that down. And I can't tell. Maybe, oh no, maybe it does go like that. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to bring these over. This goes in the back. Kind of just sits along the back section there. I'm going to orient some things, fold out his hands, rotate those, fold out his hands, rotate those, and I'm going to clean them up a little bit. But when you're done, there you have Ratchet in his really very accurate looking robot mode. And this guy turned out terrific. Yes, the transformation is what it is. It certainly does require a little bit of patience, especially when you're going back to his vehicle mode. But it results in an absolutely fantastic looking robot. I'm really amazed at how they're able to take such a square shape, or rectangular shape, I should say, for the vehicle mode, and get all these angular details that the character model really did have. Now, obviously, you can see weapon storage. You can have him hold his guns just like this. It just pegs in here. You just kind of fold the hand back, and then you got this little tab right here that locks in on that section right there very nicely. But, you know, you don't have to have that in there. And then you have the little bladed weapon that does the exact same thing, just tabs right in there. You can also, on this hand, not so much this one. This one doesn't have it, so it's not symmetrical, which is interesting. But you can plug these on this arm right here, and you can have him blasting people, which is, I mean, of course, you know, well, that's what Ratchet's going to do, especially when he's about to meet Cemetery Wind, because we all know how that ended up. But again, yeah, absolutely terrific in terms of the overall look. Now, the only part that I don't like, and this is the official transformation for it, are these little bits right in the back here. Now, it's not that that's not accurate, because in some scenes you could totally see it, but I think it sticks up way too high. I don't like that. But what you can do is you can actually take this and kind of rotate these around a little bit more and tuck these down along the side, and that puts this down on the bottom. You can still kind of see them, but they don't stick up nearly as high. So I'm just going to tuck those down. And personally, I think that that looks a little bit better. If I can get it all the way down, there we go. I think that that looks a little bit better, just kind of hiding some of that stuff. You still can kind of see them right there, but it's not as intrusive looking, I feel. But the overall, like I said, the overall angular design has been wonderfully recreated. Now, he does have a backpack, as I kind of talked about, but it's not as bad as I honestly thought. In hand, it really doesn't feel like it's that obscene. He did have a bit of a backpack in the film, but obviously that's a CGI image that they're able to kind of flatten things a whole lot more than you're able to do here with a toy. I mean, I've said this time and time again, that parts have to go somewhere. And it's not always practical to hide it, but I think they did a pretty decent job here. Coming in to take a closer look at his noggin, let's zoom in and angle up a little bit. Great detail with the head. I love the overall look of him. I do wish there was a little bit more of a metallic paint put in the gray plastic here. You can see you got a lot of that gray plastic, but that does kind of just seem a little bit drab. I wish that there was a little bit more of a silver paint on there as opposed to just the plastic. You see he's got nice blue eyes there. You got the yellow. You can articulate the mouth up and down, so you can have it completely open or you can close it, all that kind of stuff. Really very, very sharp. But then you look at the rest of the details on them. I love how all these things really do come around and, again, create a very movie-accurate look. You got these little pieces right here, which, again, accurate. This part here tends to kind of slide down a lot, but the fact that you're able to shift those, again, a really nice, accurate representation. The arms look really good. You got the wires. These are a softer, rubbery material, but, again, an accurate representation of the CGI model. Get these arms lifted up and out of the way. Again, I mean, you even got like these little light things up there. I love how they have this little piece. I talked about this when I was transforming. I love the fact that they just thought to put that small little detail in there. It's really nice that they went that extra mile to include something like that. And then these legs, again, it's amazing that they were able to take such a square thing and get everything to kind of fold around and give him that angular look that his legs really had. I think that is wonderful. The engineering on all of these Masterpiece movie figures is always very impressive, and I just am, for some reason, really very impressed with this guy's overall look. The feet down here, I'm trying to feel other places. This is where I feel like the majority of the die cast is in, right down here in the feet section. So that's where I'm doing the cold touch and where I feel it. I don't really feel it anywhere else. I mean, it's possible he has some more hiding, but I definitely feel it there. But just absolutely gorgeous. I do really, really like them. Now, again, I don't keep the Masterpiece movie figures in my display. I just don't have the space for them. Everyone asks, why don't you keep those ones? It's because the Studio Series ones are really great representations of the characters, I still think, and they take up considerably less space. And I've said this time and time again, the most valuable thing to a collector is space, and I've run out. So, doing the tape measure thing, you can see that he comes in, where are we at? About there. It's about 7.5 inches or so, so a good height for him. I mean, he gets fairly wide. Certainly not as big as Starscream or anything like that, but still absolutely impressive. Now, first articulation. The head here is on a little swivel, so you can go forward and back, and then it's got a hinge up and down. The next section, as part of the transformation, can also rotate, but I don't know if that's necessarily meant to be part of the articulation, but it works for it. The shoulders do move in and out. There are parts that you are going to have to move around. You kind of have to shift this if you want to move his arms a little bit more forward, but it does move, so it's not fully restrictive. He does rotate at the upper part of the elbow. He's got some nice ratchets here at the elbow. The wrists do rotate. They move forward and back. His fingers are all articulated. You can see that you got a little section right here that allows you to move things like his weird thumb things, and then the main fingers as well come down to the waist. He does rotate, which is very nice. That's something that not a lot of the movie Masterpiece figures have. Forward and back at the hips, in and out, not really anything restricted there. He does rotate above the knee. There's no rotation up at the thigh section. It's all right there, right above the knee. Then you got about a 45-degree bend at the knee itself. Ankles do move forward and back on that ratchet joint. That's kind of part of the transformation. Then you also do have a little bit of ankle pivot, so Shartimus Prime will be happy with that. Just in general, really a terrific looking figure. I really do wish I had more space to display all these, but there's so many movie figures out now that it's hard to kind of keep all of them and display them on a shelf of mine. Now here comes the fun part, transforming this guy back to his vehicle mode. And if you thought going into robot mode was a bit tricky, this is definitely going to be fun. First, I'm just going to take these hands and I'm going to tuck these up. You're just going to have to fold them in here in a bit. So I just like doing it now. Come around here. If you did this little thing that I did, kind of loosen that up, bring that back around. You can bring this all the way around. This drives me nuts. Get that around, just like so. You can rotate these around. You're just kind of getting things in roughly the position that they're going to need to be in. And then that's going to kind of sit like that. Come around here to the back. You can loosen this up away from the body. Loosen this back piece up. Extend all this out just like so. If this popped off, as you could see, you might as well leave it off, but I'm going to try doing it like this. It'll probably fall off again. Go ahead and take the head. You can rotate this around just like so. Kind of keep that straight. Get these arms out of the way. Come around here to the side sections. And it's a little bit tricky to get inside there. And move that in there. And then just pull that out on both sides. This is going to move around, and then you can shift that up like that, kind of collapse that. These are going to get in the way, so just kind of rotate those. This section here, you can remove this, fold that out. If you want to, you can get this hinge down here, and you can rotate them around at the waist. Kind of here, let's detach this, pull this piece all the way from the body, get that out, and then go ahead and pull this out just like that. Now here, you can rotate this around. Again, careful of that. You can rotate this whole section around, but let's get these tires up and rotate it around. You can put that where it needs to. It doesn't need to stay like that for right now, but you can just kind of lift them up, pull them up, and get them out of the way. And then rotate this whole section here. You may have to move some stuff just to kind of keep it out of the way. So move that, and then just slowly rotate this around. As you do, just making sure, get that out of the way, that everything is kind of out of the way. What isn't that? That's, yeah. If it doesn't rotate freely, make sure you push these back a little bit. And then, so just kind of rotate that. There we go. Just like so. And then take this and again, kind of just straighten this out. Fold this piece down. Fold this all the way, hinges back like that. Just kind of straighten all of that section right there. Come around here to the feet. Now you can just flop that over, straighten this piece out. You're going to take the little heel spur. You want to take that, tuck that in. Do that on both sides, just like so. Then you're going to rotate there and there at the knee. And then you can start folding all this stuff out. You gotta pull this little section out. This gets really in there tight, so kind of pull that out and then just kind of move that. You can fold this piece up like so. Fold all this out. Let's get that. Come here. Yeah, come on. Pull that away and rotate that up. That's going to go all the way down. So make sure you then extend this. Pull this piece out like that. And then fold that just like so. Do that on this side as well. And then take this, rotate this down, put that there. Do that on this side as well. So again, we're going to fold this piece out just like that. This section is going to fold up. Let's see, get that. Pull that away. There we go. Then fold this piece up. Make sure you then extend this. Fold the foot down, extend this piece out, and then you can bring that all the way there. Make sure this piece here is completely dislodged so that you get the proper folding mechanics. Collapse that if you want to, and then hinge this all the way around. Make sure you get this over the tires here. So detach the knee section and then rotate that over the tires. If that dislodged, you just kind of plug that back together. It's fairly easy to do. Keep all that on the outside. There we go. And then you can bring this around, and all of this is going to start to resemble like what you need it to. Make sure these stay out of the way. They like getting in the way. So hinge that. That piece popped off. And then just take this and fold this over. And then you can just start slotting everything together. It's going to start solidifying everything, which is nice. Because as you can see, there's a lot of flopping going around. So push that up there, and then lock that down. Lock that down. You can move these around. If this piece, again, if that popped off, you can put it back. It may pop off again, but let's see, just kind of put that there. All right, get that. Keep these kind of out just so you have a little bit more clearance here on the side. Oh, I forgot to take this and tuck that down right there. Again, you want to keep these as far down as you can. Now these arms, this is fiddly like you want to believe. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get this rotated like this. So let's get these arms out. So you're going to bring this around like that, and then bring the elbows around like so. Bring that all the way in, and then that's going to collapse kind of like that. Let's get that rotated. Sorry, it goes like that. And then bring that up. Now, you got little tab sections on the inside here that are going to lock in right there. It's a little bit tricky to get it to line up proper. Just kind of fit it in there. There you go. Like that one's locked in. Now, the other thing is once you get that locked in, you got a little tab right, or a little slot right there that needs to tab in with a little piece right there. So bring that in, kind of hinge that around. Make sure that the fists are folded, and then bring this. It's really, like I said, a little bit of a pain in the butt to get that to line up. So you do, and then let's see. Oh, I had the hand the wrong way. Okay, rotate the hand that way. Then lock that in and lock that in. So that's how you're going to want it. So let's get that hand in the right orientation. Fold this up. Now we're going to bring that in. Again, try and keep these little pieces out just to kind of keep it a little bit easier on you. That probably will dislodge it. Yeah, that dislodged it. So slot that in and slot that in. Give those a good push. This is the part that's the trickiest, I feel, to do. Getting this oriented proper and tabbed in. If that worked. And yeah, there we go. All right. Got that in there for the time being. Let's get that in there. Hopefully that's going to be good. Okay, so now I'm going to hold that there so that doesn't pop off. I'm going to put this here too. And that's going to sit there. Can then take these, can bring these kind of around, and these are going to not really tab in, they just kind of fit around the area. So fit this around here. So you got these like little posts right here that are gonna nudge around this little black section. So just fit that around there and give that a good squeeze to lock that into place up there. Try that on this side. There we go. Oh, you're killing me, Peace. You're killing me. All right, we can rotate this around. Bring this up. We'll fiddle with that here in a bit. Already spent a lot of time on that. Now these pieces here are going to lock in right up here. So you got a little nub right here that's going to lock into that section. So that will sit there. Do that on that side as well. Locks that into place. Let's straighten out these tires and get those locked in proper. Let's see. There we go. Come on. There we are. And then bring this around. Again, the doors are going to be problematic. And then you just kind of squeeze everything here. And that part, like I said, that's not sitting right. There you go. Just like that. Okay. Squeeze that there. Bring this around. Now make sure that piece stays down. Squeeze this in. Locking that in. And then take this. You're going to put this windscreen back on, which is a giant pain. Let's just be honest. I feel like that collapsed in. There we go. So get that right up there. See if that's in there. No. Then we're going to hinge this back. Slot that there. Hinge that back. Slot that there. Yeah, this, I mean, it pops off very, very easily. And I feel like, there we go. I feel like you could glue that down, but I don't really feel like doing it. But there! And then, oh, here, let me connect these little pieces at the top. Connect that. And finally, there we have Ratchet back in his vehicle mode. But ultimately, though, terrific terrific figure. What? What? What are you doing? Come here. Come here, you. Hi, baby. Oh, you want to go say hi? You want to go say hi? Oh, okay. Hello. Hello. There's a Pepper appearance. So, what do you think, Pepper? Do you like it? Do you like him? No. No? You think he's a good figure? Oh, he's coming after you. Oh, well, you didn't like that, huh? Oh. Well, the Autobots just decided to go after Ravage right there. But like I was saying, I ultimately think that he is a really good figure. The movie masterpiece figures have always been very impressive. They do a great job of doing exactly what they're supposed to do. That's giving us masterpiece quality versions of the movie figures. And while they still have to follow the laws of physics, they do a pretty darn good job of recreating those characters. Vehicle mode wise, obviously there is a little bit of kibble going on. I don't think it's terribly egregious, like I said, though. Certainly not as bad as Starscream. The look, the detail, everything is really very, very well done on this guy. Transformation is what you would expect for a movie masterpiece figure. Complex, but not terribly difficult to do. There's just a lot of parts that do kind of flop around that you have to kind of go around to get things working. But it's certainly manageable. And then you get that robot mode that looks beautiful. I really am very impressed, like I said, with how they're able to take a very blocky looking figure and give us that angular look that Ratchet had. I really, really like what they did here. And obviously, if you're collecting the Masterpiece movie figures, I would recommend picking him up. He's part of that core group of Autobots that we were first introduced to in 2007 and was a mainstay for the majority of the films. He did unfortunately meet an untimely end at the hands of Lockdown, but so did a lot of other Transformers. So, all that being said, if Ratchet here is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, the Masterpiece movie figures are exclusive to Target stores, at least here in North America. And he is out now, so good luck and happy hunting. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would do one very simple thing for me. And that's just to hit that thumbs up button. That one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really very much appreciate it. Also, I gotta send a huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members. If you'd be interested in becoming a patron and helping to support the channel, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. Or if you'd like to keep it really simple and see what's available as a channel member, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.